Welcome back, and joining us to analyze the factors behind today's markets action is Martin Smith from Anchor Capital. Thank you so much for your time, Martin. The local markets, the JSE, and especially the Rand are going strong this week. Has all the election noise faded?
I think potentially, but maybe just a little bit more positivity around the SA in general, as well as I think kind of global factors around risk appetite. Even if you look at kind of what's happening in the Chinese market in the last few weeks, a lot of kind of risk appetites just kind of bringing everything up a little bit, including South Africa, which is great. So offshore markets continue to grind kind of higher over time, but the SA market up about 10% odd in the last couple of weeks. So that's, yeah, it's positive. So let's see how we get on in the next couple of weeks, I guess.
Yeah, it also seems that markets are kind of trying to position themselves ahead of the election. Of course, we know the low valuations that we are seeing on the local market. So clearly, a lot of market participants seeing some good value on that front. Talking about value, let's go into the companies that released results and trading statements today. Afrimat, well-diversified company there, releasing their year-end results. Revenue up by 24%. Headline earnings per share also strengthening by that margin. We did see the share price popping there, almost 4%. Of course, as you saw, some buying action there. Would you say that this is somewhat of a defensive stock?
I think it's just a great stock in general. I think it's one I used to cover as an analyst 10 odd years ago. But I mean, it was a well-documented result from a numbers perspective. If you look at the pre-close call, the trading update that they gave, so no surprises from that kind of aspect. But if you look at kind of through the numbers and that, I mean, it's a good business, good operational momentum, great management team. They're very, very excited about this Lafarge deal, kind of going forward as well. So I see no reason not to continue holding the stock. And again, it's one we've held for a very long time, and they just keep delivering, and always trying to find new and exciting opportunities. And I think they've got very unique opportunities in the kind of growth space in the mining space. So yeah, I like it, and good results, and I think one to continue to hold.
All right. And I will be speaking to the CEO just after 6 o'clock today and hear what story he has to tell us. Let's go on to more results. KARO with five O's released results there as well. I always have to count the O's.
Yeah. I never know how many O's there are.
So
I thought it was 4.
It's 5. So they released their full year results as well today, delivering double-digit growth in its key financial metrics, posting record operating profit. That share price last time I checked climbed 9%. The company has seen quite sustained growth, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think maybe a little against the skeptics, right? They just keep delivering relative to their own performance. They keep growing relative to their competitors. They keep kind of outperforming as well. So this is just a business that keeps ticking on and on and on. Again, skeptics against their own thing and against competitors. So it's quite an incredible business. Also from an international perspective, South Africa's become somewhat of a leader in the kind of vehicle recovery space, for good or bad reasons. But we've become a little bit of a kind of global leader, which is very positive. And again, KARO just keeps delivering. So very much in line with what they've been doing in the last while.
All right. Well, let's check in with Barloworld, because that company released an interim trading statement today. Of course, there are some discontinued operations. So on a group level, taking in continuing and discontinued operations, numbers didn't look so good. But when you saw the headline earnings that they expect for the interim period from continuing operations, that drop isn't so bad, between a 6.2 and 9.7%. What have you made of what they produced today?
So it wasn't a massive amount of detail, and like you mentioned, the actual earnings numbers weren't terribly exciting and didn't really make me want to go out and buy the stock. But I think you're going to have to wait for two things. One, you've got results coming out, I think is the 27th of May, so to get a little bit more kind of detail around the business and the way they are going forward, because this trading update wasn't full of a lot of detail.
Yeah.
But also we've got to remember this business is trading under a cautionary at the moment. And there's a lot of speculation as to what that is and what might not be, and no one really knows. And I think that's also obviously going to be quite interesting to thing to watch and to see what that translates into. So until we get a bit more information from the results and from that cautionary, I think it's one that, based on just these earnings numbers alone, I'm not terribly excited by.
All right. Well, something that the markets have been quite excited about is SUNL. They released their operational update for the first few months of the new financial year, and it seems that the momentum has continued from their last year-end results that they produced, as we are seeing growth across the board there. Is this momentum sustainable?
I think so. It's business we really like. And another, very similar to Afat, I think quite a nice just hold in a portfolio, is like a steady compounder. And like you mentioned, the results were very, very good, growing nicely, also accelerated growth in certain pockets. So I think a very good kind of set of numbers from them. Obviously, they didn't give a lot of detail because it was just a quarterly number.
Yeah.
But from what we saw, very positive, very good, continuing in the right direction, and just another one that I would kind of keep in the portfolio and let it compound.
All right. What else are you keeping in your portfolio, your stock pick for today?
I'm going offshore today, even though I like the SA Inc. story. Like you mentioned, valuations are looking cheap, but maybe gone a little bit too quickly in the last couple of weeks. But the one that I do like offshore at the moment is Fortinet. Share sold off quite aggressively on a billing number that came out, the quarterly billing number. Can be volatile from time to time, but this is a market-leading business, good growth going forward, and I think actually quite a nice opportunity now to buy for the long term. So Fortinet offshore.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and for your analysis on what has been moving investors' money today, Martin. That was Martin Smith from Anchor Capital.